How's it going, everybody? Mozidesigner here with another game review. Today I'm going to be looking at Gears of War 5. I've been playing Gears of War since it first debuted on the Xbox 360 back in the day. I played the hell out of multiplayer with co-workers almost every single night. When Gears 2 came out, I was there at the midnight launch and played more multiplayer with co-workers pretty much again on a daily basis. And like clockwork, I got Gears 3 day one, the big collector's edition with a Marcus Phoenix statue, which I still have on my desk at work. I also got Gears of War Judgment. It does get some flack from the community, but I enjoyed playing it. So as you can see, I'm a bit of a fanboy, but I will be as honest in this review as I can be. So for the most part, Gears of War has been console exclusive. However, Gears of War 1 did come to the PC, but not in the best light. It was buggy, the controls were bad, and very janky for keyboard and mouse. Matchmaking was pretty much non-existent in PC multiplayer. It was very hard to find matches and other players to play with. But it did have one added benefit, the Gears of War map editor. People could use the actual tools to make Gears of War single player and multiplayer levels. I myself made a handful of levels for both single player and multiplayer that were well received in the small Gears of War PC community. And I made some good friends that I still have till today from that community, so plus point there. After that, Gears of War never really saw the light on PC. Eventually, there was a remaster of Gears 1 called the Ultimate Edition that was available on the Microsoft Store. It was better than the initial launch, but Gears 2 and Gears 3 never came to PC. Down the road, once the Gears franchise changed hands from Epic Games to the Coalition, it actually had a full-fledged PC release of Gears 4 at the same time as its console counterparts, so that was great. Gears 4 was much better than Gears 1 on PC. It was stable, it ran well, the controls were good. No performance issues as such that I can remember. Decent matchmaking, so it felt like a complete experience. I am getting a bit sidetracked here, but it's kind of relevant to the review, as Gears 5 came to PC as well at the same time as a console, and it was available on Steam, so that was easy to jump onto. I didn't have to go to the Microsoft Store. No beef with the Microsoft Store at all, but I just use Steam pretty much daily, so it's very easy to just get the game on Steam and connect with my friends and start playing. I have no beef with any platforms. I use all of them. I got launchers all over my desktop, so no beef with any launchers, but it was great to see the game on Steam. So getting that out of the way. So as a PC game, how does Gears 5 work? Let's dive in and find out. So with my PC setup, which I'll have in the description below, I do not have any issues at all. Performance is great, no frame rate issues, no screen tearing, visually very impressive. I had most of the settings cranked up to the max. If you really want to know more about the differences between PC and Xbox, there's a great video done by Digital Foundry that I'll put down below in the description. You can check out that covers more details of performance and frame rate related topics. But for today, I'm going to just be covering the game from my experience. So for actual gameplay offerings, Gears of War 5 has co-op campaign, which can be also played solo if you want to, which I did. It has multiplayer, PvP, horde mode, and escape. So let's start with multiplayer, as I spent most of my time there. So I spent a good amount of time in PvP and managed to rank up to level 100 into the re-up, or basically prestiging to do it all over again. The game shipped with 7 new multiplayer maps, and for the first time, no gridlock in the rotation. New maps are Asylum, Bunker, District, Exhibit, Icebound, Training Grounds, and finally, Vasgar. As standard fare, the maps are symmetrical, giving both teams an equal footing in terms of level flow and cover options. Vasgar is a bit of an exception, as it is slightly asymmetrical, but I can cover that again in a separate video. Within multiplayer itself, there are some subsets of gameplay modes, if you can say. There is quick play, there's ranked, and there's custom. Inside quick play, it splits up into arcade mode, classic, and PvP co-op against bots. So arcade mode in multiplayer is similar to other multiplayer modes where you have to kill the player and each kill gives you a point, or like I think Crysis had it where you killed a player and got their dog tags, and I think Call of Duty has a similar mode. The name is skipping my mind right now, but in arcade mode in Gears, each player or playable character has a loadout with 3 different weapons. As you play the matches, when you get kills, you get points, and each weapon in your loadout costs a point. So if you have 4 kills, you have 4 points, and you can spend those points on a weapon of your choice in your loadout. This way, each character or player in the field has different loadouts and different weapons, making things very interesting for PvP encounters. With that in mind, the PvP maps in arcade mode don't have weapon pickups. All the weapon pickups have been replaced with ammo crates. Thus, you can't just run around and pick up the frag grenade or the boom shot, because those are given to different player loadouts. So pick the loadout that best fits your playstyle and has the weapons that you want to use. So classic quick play is basically standard Gears of War. You start with your Lancer, your Gnasher, and your grenade, and the weapon pickups are around the map, such as frag grenades, drop shots, sniper rifles, and that's pretty much the classic Gears of War gameplay that we all know and love. And the third offering in quick play is co-op PvP against bots. This is a great way to just jump in, matchmake with 4 other players, and don't have the sense of pressure of facing another team of actual players. The other team are just bots. With this, it gives new players a chance to practice using the weapons and learning the map layouts. It's also a great way for, skilled players and even veteran players to practice certain moves like wall bouncing and getting the mastery of the weapons to get those accurate shots when they do go against actual players in the other PvP modes. As I mentioned, I have not dived into ranked play yet, but it's there. They have ranked King of the Hill, Team Deathmatch, Guardian, and Execution. So that's great if you want to set your rank, see how good you are, and keep competing for the next level in those game modes. So I haven't had the time yet to jump into that, but it's there for those who really want to do a more competitive edge and get a rank and play against people of similar rank and skill. Along with PvP, Horde mode is back with a bit of a hero shooter light twist. Each playable character has a unique ultimate ability that can be used to the team's advantage on the battlefield against the incoming swarm. Basically the same deal here, fight off waves of swarm. Every 10 waves is a boss, and after 50 waves, you win. There's also a new co-op mode called Escape. I've only played a little bit of this and need to play some more, but from my experience it was fun. The gist is you are part of a 3-person squad who infiltrate a swarm hive. You plant a toxic bomb, and the goal is to get out of the hive before the bomb takes out the place. It's not as easy as it sounds, given the maps are quite large with multiple options and paths. And along the way the AI will give you one hell of a fight before you reach the exit of the hive. So as much as I enjoyed multiplayer and Horde and some Escape, there are some issues with multiplayer, namely with matchmaking. At times when finding a new match, it does take a while for the match to start. I assume the server is looking for other players who are also trying to find a game, but sometimes the wait for a match to start takes such a long time that I pick up my phone and start looking at other things while waiting for the match to start. It's not a big issue, but it does kind of get boring when you're sitting there for maybe 2 minutes waiting for the match to start. And I get it, it's probably a server issue, but it does hinder the flow and fun of the game when you try to find a new match. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it is annoying. Another issue I've had with multiplayer is getting unbalanced teams. You may join a match, but you might be by yourself with a bot squad, and the other team is full of actual players. Eventually during the match, the bots do fill up with actual players, but the initial start of you and just a bot team can be frustrating when the other team is stacked with actual players who are much better than bots. So just some nitpicky things about multiplayer, but for the most part, it's great. So let's move over to campaign, and don't worry, completely spoiler free, I will not give away any of the plot points of the story. In terms of scope, this is one of the bigger and larger Gears of War campaigns compared to Gears 1 through 4. Here in 5, each part of the story takes you to different locations on the planet, each with their own unique art style and theme. You can definitely tell that the level designers and the artists put in a lot of time and effort to give each area its own unique feel and identity. not just only in the major locations, but moving between the spaces in each act of the story shows a lot of small details and micro storytelling elements. Each act of the game has great boss fights. I won't spoil what they are, but they're definitely interesting and a lot of fun. So look out for those, and I think you will agree with me that the boss fights were actually pretty interesting in this game. So in terms of big changes, Gears of War 5 campaign has two big changes, one with their environment and two with a different character. This time around, Gears of War 5 has some semi-open world spaces. I say semi-open world because you can't really go anywhere you want to, but they're very vast and open terrain spaces that give you that open world feel of exploration. And that is done quite well as you're given a skiff vehicle to get around the open terrain spaces to find points of interest, different side quests, and locations that are critical to the main storyline. And along the way, as you explore these open terrains, you can find different collectibles and items that are important to the story, or just add some extra depth to the lore of the game. Gears 5 also has the addition of a new character. Not new really, but new in the sense of what he can do. Or it, rather. It's a robot. The robot is Jack. Jack, the little AI robot, has been around since Gears 1, but was kind of on the sidelines. Here in Gears 5, Jack plays a more critical role in the game, as he can not only attack the AI as you fight, but also aid your teammates with unique skills. Jack can be summoned to blind the AI, cloak your teammates, provide damage boosters, and even take over the enemy AI that will fight alongside you for a short period of time. Throughout the campaign, you can find upgrade components hidden in various locations that can be used to improve Jack's passive and active abilities over time. So I have said a lot of great things about the game, but it's not flawless. There are some issues of actual gameplay hindering issues and some nuances that I think hurt the game, but maybe they're just my own feeling. So let's cover those. The first major issue that a lot of people reported, and I even experienced, was video card crashes. Namely with 1070s, but also some other video cards. Randomly during the game would just crash and give you a video card error. Since launch, this has been fixed and new Nvidia drivers have been released, which fix the problem, but from time to time, I still get the hard crash related to the graphics card. I'm pretty sure my graphics card is fine, as I've had zero issues or graphic card related crashes in other visually demanding games. Another issue is with matchmaking. Early on in the game, you would join a match and for no reason you just get kicked out of the match. It's like you have been kicked from the game and dropped from the game. And I think that's improved. I've not seen that happen now, but in the early days of the game launch, you would join a game and just get kicked out for no reason. I don't know why, but it's an issue that was there and it didn't hinder the gameplay experience at launch. So the next points I'm going to make are criticisms of my own. They're not really actual bugs, so bear with me and let me know in the comments below if it's just my own feeling and I'm talking crazy, or there are issues you've actually experienced yourself. So to be perfectly honest, Gears of War multiplayer is not forgiving. Since Gears 1 PvP, most encounters boil down to close quarter Gnasher fights. If you're not familiar, the Gnasher is a shotgun of the Gears of War universe. Gnasher is absolutely brutal in the right hands. It can be a force to be reckoned with. I've had my own moments of absolutely wrecking the other players with the shotty, and I have also been on the receiving end of shotgun mastery. To be fair, it doesn't take long to learn the nuances of the weapon, but it can be frustrating, especially if you're a new player, and even as a veteran player you have your moments of what the hell just happened. I thought I did something and nothing happened, and maybe you have to take a step back and say, was it my fault or was it the game fault? This is where I feel like it's more of a feeling. I can't give solid evidence to say the game's always at fault, but let me share my thoughts. So before I get any comments below that say get good, feel free to say it if you want as a meme, as a troll, but being serious here, there are examples where using the shotgun point blank you don't get a kill, but the other guy in front of you point blank does. Why? I have no idea. There is one case that has been reported on the forums and I think on Twitter or somewhere, where when you kill someone, or rather in the kill cam after you have died, it shows the scuffle between you and another player. And on my end, it might say, I did 90% damage in one shot with the shotgun, which makes no sense since I clearly had the person dead to rights, centered with the shotgun. But on my end, I died to 100% damage in one shot, and this makes absolutely no sense at all. And it can get very frustrating for new players diving into Gears of War of, hey, I shot the guy point blank, nothing happened, but I got shot point blank, and I died. What the hell? And it's very easy to blame the weapon. Hey, the weapon sucks, the weapon's unbalanced. I'm not saying that. There's smart people working on this game. The weapon is probably tuned to the way it needs to be tuned and will be tuned further down the road. But this could be related to server lag, it could be related to input lag, and those things do play a factor in you landing the shot or not landing the shot. But it's not a straight up, hey, you're in my crosshairs and you died. There's some play in the middle that can cause you losing a gunfight that you thought you should have won. And I don't have any solid evidence to say what it is, but I need to share it out there that if you are new to Gears of War, you're going to experience this. So, continuing on with frustrations or possible feelings, I think there is some bit of input lag or netcode issues. Again, I'm sure there are very smart people working in this game. They know what they're doing. I'm not blaming the game or that sucks or this sucks. I'm trying to be level-minded here, but some of those nuances do make or break the multiplayer experiences. So I don't have any solid evidence to back this up, but it's more of a feeling. There have been instances more than once where I had someone in sights, pulled the trigger, and nothing happened. But since I was in close range, the enemy turned around and shot me and killed me in one hit. When I look back at the kill cam, it does confirm I did not shoot the weapon at all, but I know for a fact I pulled the trigger on the controller. So again, this is more of a frustration, not really a bug. Maybe it does boil down to, hey, get good, but the last 2 points, take them with a grain of salt as my opinion rather than actual game issues based on the hit registration and possible input lag. But overall, the game is solid, so it's not a game-breaking thing, but it can be frustrating and cause you to get frustrated at the game and say things suck, where it could be your own fault or some fault in between your computer, the server, and the other person's screen. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but I had to get it out there. At the end of the day, Gears 5 is a solid game with a lot to offer. You have the co-op campaign, you have highly replayable multiplayer PvP, horde mode, and escape. So you definitely get your money's worth. And if you're a fan of the series and have not picked it up yet, go get it, you won't be disappointed. And if you are not a diehard fan of Gears but need something from a competitive standpoint, I would suggest picking up Gears of War for the PvP. So what's my final verdict? The game is solid. It has a lot to offer. Visually impressive. But there are some technical issues that may creep up here and there. They have been fixed, but hey, depending on your PC hardware, you might run into them. With some matchmaking issues I've seen, and weapon frustrations that I've experienced and you may experience as well, I'm going to say Gears 5 is an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I am a fanboy of the game, but I have to be subjective and say some of the issues and experiences do hinder the overall experience. So, therefore, that is my score. And on that note, I will conclude this already long video. If you made it this far, thank you. As always, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon wherever it's hiding for future video updates and live streams. Until next time, cheers.